Hi, everybody. Welcome to Chat and Craft with Lorraine. I'm Lorraine Tierney. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Warner, New Hampshire. And today we're going to make a couple of desk calendar holders. So these make awesome gifts. They work up really quickly and they're a lot of fun and they're nice. They're functional. So people will enjoy receiving these. And if you're a demonstrator, I suggest you make up a little sticker and put your contact information on the back of this. You can put your Facebook page, your Pinterest, your blog or email, all of that information, and then your customers give it to your customer or even a potential customer, and they will have everything they need right there if they want to get in touch with you. So let's get started. I made quite a few of these yesterday because I really liked them and I need some to give away. And I wanted to show you how you can do it with just about any designer series paper. And I know we all have so much designer series paper. I see some people hopping on, so please say hello and let me know who's watching so I can say hello to you. This one is done with the gnome paper, and I don't remember the exact name of it right now. And I just fussy cut that gnome right out of the paper. I don't have the dies or the stamp set, but I did that. And that Let's Celebrate Everything, I figured that worked for every month of the year. Let's celebrate whatever comes along. And that's from this stamp set called Eden's Garden. Let's Celebrate Everything. So it's a handy little stamp to have. And this is a really pretty distinctive stamp that gives you really nice shading. Then I did one, this has the Hues of Happiness DSP. That's the back side of one. And I just die cut a flower and I use that same Let's Celebrate Everything. And I'm getting a low power message on my phone. So let me just plug this in. Sorry if I make this shake. Okay, there we go. Let's see how that does. Okay. And then this one I used this 2022-2024 in color designer series paper. And I love this pack of paper. You can see I'm using a lot of it. And this is with Parakeet Party and a birdhouse stamp. We'll use that stamp set again, and so I'll show you that in a little bit. And again with the Let's Celebrate Everything. This tag is a one-of-a-kind tag because I kept punching and cutting and I'll never be able to make that again. So we're going to do something a little bit different on this one. So I will give you the measurements now that I'm using, but I'm also going to put them in the description later on. So don't worry about trying to keep up with it all. All right. So the first thing we're going to start with, I'm going to use my scoring tool today because I don't like having to always take out the arm on this and put it back in. I'm very lazy when it comes to that. So I'm going to use this, and I'm starting with a piece of Starry Sky, and this is 5.5 by 8.5, like a card base, but we're going to score it very differently than you would score a card base. So I'm going to score it at 1/2, at 3.5, whoops, 3.5, at 6.5, and at I played around with 7.5 and 7/5/8. I'm going to go back to 7.5, and we're going to make that work. Okay, so that's all you do for the scoring. And now we are going to fold this. And of course, I'm looking for the elusive bone folder that's under things. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over. I like to fold into the bump. That's the way the fibers are stretched, and you get a better seam without any cracking. So I'm going to fold the first 3 folds just like that. Then I'm going to flip it over, and this one is going to come back the opposite way, because this is going to be your little piece that goes underneath. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get rid of that shadow a little bit. So it's going to go like that. That's just making it worse. Yeah, I don't, oh, there you go. That's how it goes, just like that. So I'm going to open that back up. Okay, and I'm going to put some tear and tape on this first 1/2 inch little flap. Okay, just a little bit of tear and tape. Hi, Joanne. It just started to snow here in Wilmington. Is it snowing where you guys are? All right, and now this little piece, the 1/2 inch piece, is going to hook right over this flap. So I'm going to put it right up to the score line, get it nice and even, and then close that. Okay, and I can give it a rub, and there you go. So that's our little desk stand right there. Now I'm going to do all the rest of the decorating and the putting together before I put it on that stand. I find that to be a little bit easier. Hi, Betsy. So next I have a piece of basic white, and this is 5 3/8 by 2 7/8, and this is going to be the mat for my piece of patterned paper, which is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4, and I'll put these all in the description. So I'm going to glue those together. Do I want to use the polka dot side? I actually think I'm going to use the plaid side. Most of the time I think I go polka dots with this piece of paper. I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. Okay. It's hard to see my edges white on white. So I didn't get that too straight. That's the good thing about the liquid glue. I can just pull it up and try it again. Okay, so there's my piece of designer series paper. Now I forgot to bring a calendar over here. Let me just grab one of those. These are the little calendars. You get these from Tailored Expressions or scrapbook.com. They come 10 in a pack. People tend to forget that, and they'll might order 10, and then you have 100 calendars. They come 10 in a pack. So just order 1 pack for every 10. I'm going to use tear and tape again on the back of this because it's a little bit glossy paper, and sometimes I find the liquid glue doesn't stick as well to the glossy paper. Give that a good rub, and then we'll take this off, and I'm going to put it on a mat, and this mat is 3 1/8 by 2 3/8. It's just 1/8 of an inch bigger than the little calendar all the way around. So just a tiny border. Okay. There you go. And then that is going to go right here towards the right hand side. And pretty much the same size border on the top, the right, and the bottom. This will go over here, and then I'll have my little sentiment, but I want to cut off just one little notch of this. This is the oh, what's this called? The rectangular postage stamp or postage stamp punch, something like that. And I'm just going to cut off one notch at the bottom because I want there to be a little bit more space between the sentiment and my little design. Okay, so that's going to go there, and I'm going to put my sentiment on there and then cut it. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going with the tear and tape. This is something that will have a little bit of gravity pulling on it, and you'll rip off the months. So I want to be sure it's really stuck on there well. So I think tear and tape is the way to go. This is the Starry Sky in color. Do you guys have a favorite in color that you like the best? I change mine all the time, but I'd be interested if you have a favorite one. Sweet Sorbet or the Parakeet Party, Orchid Oasis. What else is in there? Tahitian Tide. Did I get them all? Tahitian Tide, Orchid Oasis, Parakeet Party, Starry Sky, Sweet Sorbet, the pinkish reddish one. Okay, so that's going to stay right there. And now we're going to use a birdhouse stamp from Garden Birdhouses, and I'm going to color it with a blend. So whenever I use my blends, I use Memento ink because the blends will not smudge that. Okay, so I'm going to put that, I got to stand up to see, right on there. All right, and now we'll do our sentiment and give that just a little bit of time to dry. I'm fishing out another block. So let's celebrate everything. And I'm going to use the black for that as well. Starry Sky and Tahitian Tide. We have 2 votes for those, huh? I like those colors too. I do like the Parakeet Party also. Let's celebrate everything. It's a little bit crooked. I'm going to try it again. I didn't stand up. I really find I need to stand up and get above things so I can see it a little bit better. There we go. And I can't cut a straight line even for something that tiny. So I'm just going to put it right up in here and give it a cut. Okay. So now, I wanted to stamp the birdhouse twice because I'm really not sure. Tahitian or Starry Sky and the Orchid Oasis really are not that different. It almost seems like they're different shades of the same color. So I wasn't sure what I want to color with. This is the light Orchid Oasis. And because this is a birdhouse, I'm taking artistic license and I'm making the roof the color that I want, or under the eaves. So I was trying to see, do I want to go with the light Orchid Oasis or the light Starry Sky? And I'm going to put it right next to each other even so we can see. The Starry Sky is definitely a little bit bluer. Can you see that? It is a little bluer, a little darker, but I think it's almost like this has the light color in this is the Orchid Oasis. So I think I'm going to use the light Orchid Oasis and color my birdhouse. So on this one I did use a gray granite for the roof. I think I will do that again and just put some of the light Orchid Oasis here. I'm using what I call the bullet tip, the rounded tip today. Sometimes I use the brush tip. Sometimes I use this one. I'm not real consistent, but these are kind of small spaces. So I'm going with the smaller tip. And I'm just going to do a little bit on the bottom. Oh, and maybe the door. Maybe I'll do the door. I do like this parakeet party. This is the light parakeet party. Just a little pop of color on the front. I guess it's not really a door because they have a hole they go in. Little pop of color right there. And this is the light gray granite that I'm just going to do. I feel like a dark black roof would be a little too dark. It is a birdhouse, so I probably could do the roof any color I want, but here's a little neutral. All right, and I need some dimensionals to pop that up on. They should be around here someplace. Got them. Oops. Okay. And you always want to make sure you're never coloring with the blends on something where you'll see the back, because you can see the ink saturates through. All right, so let's get this straight. And then hopefully I can put this on straight. I feel like I have a little curl in the edge of that paper, so I'm just going to rub it with my bone folder. Try to rub that out. All right, and I'm having trouble with the dimensionals. I was at the hospital today and used so much hand sanitizer. My fingers are so dry, I think I'm having trouble doing that. Okay. I want to be even. It's so little, it's hard to hold on to it. Am I straight? Okay. And now I'm going to use my liquid glue and we'll just glue this on the base and we have one done. This is a little bit of a lower profile, I think of it as, desk calendar than the ones that go in the portrait orientation. I'm having trouble getting this straight. There we go. Okay, and then I can flip it over and use my bone folder inside there. And there we go. We have another one. So here's the parakeet party, and here's the starry sky. Oh, Betsy asks if we ate the gingerbread train. We did not eat the gingerbread train. It's still up as a decoration. Believe me, there was a lot more candy there yesterday than we used. So Orson has eaten his share of the candy. He does want to taste the gingerbread house, but I'm not sure exactly when we'll do that. We've also promised that we'll make gingerbread men and decorate those. So we'll be doing that soon. So I hope, oh, Jan likes the parakeet party, likes the green. So I hope you will give these a try. If you need a gift for somebody or something for your own desk, or craft fairs. They're just a lot of fun. And I think, there's 12 months in the year. You can give these through January. If you're not ready with them before Christmas, that's okay. You can do it a little bit later. So I hope you'll give this a try. I am someone that loves to make cards, loves to make paper crafts, and I love to help other people make it. I love the joy that it brings to others. So if you have any questions or I can help you make cards or gifts like this at home, please let me know. You can find me on Facebook at Chat and Craft with Lorraine, and I will see you again next time I'm on here live, probably next Sunday. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.